Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Chris Taylor. Pakistan has announced a potential ceasefire agreement between Iran and the United States, along with their allies, effective immediately, including in Lebanon. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, in an early morning statement, welcomed the development and thanked both sides for showing what he described as remarkable wisdom and understanding. He also extended an invitation to delegations from both countries to Islamabad on April 10th for talks aimed at securing a lasting and peaceful resolution. However, the White House has cautioned that no final agreement has yet been confirmed, stating that discussions remain ongoing. Meanwhile, Israel has reportedly agreed to the proposed ceasefire framework, signaling cautious optimism across the region. In a related development, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a 2-week suspension of military action against Iran, referring to it as a double-sided ceasefire. In his statement, Trump said the decision followed discussions with Pakistan's leadership and is conditional on Iran immediately reopening the Strait of Hormuz. He claimed that U.S. military objectives have already been achieved and that both sides are now close to reaching a long-term peace agreement. The president also revealed that a 10-point proposal from Iran is currently under consideration, describing it as a workable foundation for future negotiations. He expressed confidence that this pause in hostilities would help pave the way for a lasting peace deal in the Middle East. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has also responded, stating that Iran is prepared to halt its defensive operations if attacks against the country are stopped. Speaking on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, he confirmed that safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz would be ensured for the next 2 weeks under coordination with Iranian forces. Araghchi thanked Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir for their efforts in promoting peace. He added that negotiations could progress based on Iran's 10-point proposal, which includes sanctions relief, non-aggression commitments, and recognition of Iran's nuclear rights. Let's now go to Islamabad, where our correspondent Sarah William is following the latest diplomatic developments. Sarah, what more can you tell us?
Thank you, Chris. Diplomatic activity here in Islamabad has intensified following Pakistan's ceasefire initiative. Officials confirm that Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar has held a series of rapid calls with counterparts from Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt, focusing on stabilizing the region. Sources say both Iran and the United States have expressed confidence in Pakistan's ability to facilitate meaningful dialogue. There is also growing momentum behind a joint 5-point peace proposal put forward by Pakistan and China. Analysts here believe Islamabad is positioning itself as a central mediator in efforts to de-escalate tensions.
Thank you, Sarah William, for that update from Islamabad. Continuing on the diplomatic front, Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar has been actively engaging global counterparts following the ceasefire push. According to the Foreign Office, these discussions are centered on the evolving situation in the Middle East and Pakistan's efforts to promote dialogue and regional stability. The outreach follows a recent quadrilateral meeting in Islamabad where regional leaders discussed de-escalation strategies. Officials say diplomatic momentum continues to build, with increasing international support for negotiations. International reaction to the developments has also begun to emerge. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has welcomed the reported 2-week ceasefire between the United States and Iran, calling it a positive step toward de-escalation. He stated that the move reflects global efforts to reduce tensions and work toward a peaceful resolution. However, Albanese also criticized remarks made by Donald Trump regarding threats to Iran's civilian infrastructure, describing such language as inappropriate and concerning. He emphasized that Australia supports continued diplomacy to ensure long-term peace and stability in the region. Meanwhile, scenes of celebration have been reported across Iran following the ceasefire announcement. Crowds gathered in several cities, waving national flags and expressing relief after days of heightened tensions. Citizens have welcomed the pause in hostilities, with many expressing hope that it will lead to lasting peace and stability. The ceasefire comes amid ongoing diplomatic efforts, and many Iranians say they are optimistic that continued dialogue will prevent further conflict. And finally, global markets have reacted swiftly to the easing tensions. Oil prices have dropped sharply below $100 per barrel after the announcement of the 2-week ceasefire. Brent crude fell by approximately 13.6% to around $94 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate declined by about 14.3% to nearly $96. Analysts say the drop reflects reduced fears of supply disruption, particularly with the potential reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Global stock markets also showed gains, signaling renewed investor confidence as geopolitical risks ease. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.